Thank you all for joining with me today. My name is Joan Gronowski, and hope you don't mind my reading from my notes. I'm not used to public speaking. As you are aware, our council member Dennis Robertson is seeking the Democratic nomination for mayor this November, and so that leaves a very critical opening in the third district council seat, and I'm throwing my headband into the ring, and I hope that I'll get some support today. This will probably be one of the most critical elections that I've ever seen in this city. There's a pervasive distrust of government that just permeates the system, permeates the people, the very atmosphere of the city. We used to be laughingly known as the city of hills, where nothing is on the level, and unfortunately now not many people laugh when they use that expression to describe our city. Drastic and immediate changes must be made to regain the confidence of our citizens. I was a city employee for 25 years until I was fired by the city of Yonkers in 2000. I ultimately sued the city in federal court and won a First Amendment against my first freedom of speech violations. I wanted to help change what I thought was a rapid decline in the way we were represented in our government, and I lost my job because of it. One of those issues was the ease with which highly paid jobs are created and funded in Yonkers. A glaring example is the Bureau of Code Enforcement, created in 1998 as an administrative adjudication process for dealing with city code violations, meant to free the court calendars of minor code violations. There was only one hitch. The city created, funded, and saved this bureau without first having received Senate and Assembly approval necessary to empower it as an adjudication entity. Unbelievably, this bureau was funded for at least 7 years without having received Senate and Assembly approval necessary. I don't know if it ultimately did receive this backing from the Senate and Assembly, but the fact is that for 7 years, this bureau existed with no one asking any questions over its very legality. Assemblyman Gary Pretlow, the sponsor of the Assembly bill, commented in October 2000 that the bill did not have much support in the Assembly. When questioned about the fact that the board existed and was created without state approval, Mr. Pretlow commented, "If it exists, it does not exist under the umbrella of any law. There was a problem here. This isn't mismanagement, it's blatant misuse of taxpayer dollars." The civil service in Yonkers is broken. The state must follow up their 1994 audit, which found Yonkers guilty of glaring and blatant violations of civil service law. Civil service is not perfect, even when it's working at its best, but it's the only system that protects government workers from political intimidation that they suffer very frequently, and it's the only system that stops politicians from giving numerous jobs to their families, friends, and political allies. It has been used as a political power base rather than an entity to ensure that every citizen has the right to compete for taxpayer-funded jobs where the most qualified person is hired. The Freedom of Information law must be strengthened and given teeth to allow for fines to be imposed on government officials who frequently and arbitrarily refuse to provide our citizens and our media with public, not privileged information. I would also seek Governor Spitzer's reviewing of the Hevesy audit to ensure that the findings of the controller at that time were in fact the findings that were released to the public. I hope to get involved in other issues as my campaign progresses. It's going to be a very grassroots campaign. I hope to raise funds with family and friends who know me, know my character, and will support me based on what they know of me. I will not solicit or seek any monies from any developers or any big business groups looking to do business in the city. So I'm counting on the public, anyone that has heard part of my message today and support what I say and want to help me, I welcome it. I welcome any little monetary contribution, which will only get you my undying support, which I'm going to give you anyway. And welcome volunteers. I'm in the book, I'm listed, and please feel free to contact me for volunteering support or for giving me any issues that you would hope to see covered should I win this election. Thank you very much for being with me. down here every morning having coffee, and I've gotten really friendly with Larry in the neighborhood, and Delphine and Connie, and a lot of it, I feel that I feel a little bit comfortable doing this here today, surrounded by my neighborhood friends.
Youth violence has been sort of a tough, sad pattern.
Yes, I know it's more a factor in the southwest part of the city than it is here. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I have been following just what the community has done in that case to try to round up the children and instill in them. It just seems that these children today, they don't value their own lives. If they don't value their own lives, they're not going to have much value for anybody else's. And that's got to be, that's the very basis of what's going on. And if you don't get to the heart of that, if you don't instill in these children from wherever you're going to have to get it, a self-worth, that their lives are important, their moms and fathers gave birth to them, and their human life. You have to make them value themselves, no matter what you have to do. If there's no value of your life, you have nothing. You have nothing to live for.
Do you have any concern that Dennis Robertson may come back or try to recapture his seat that he's claimed he's vacated for the mayoralty?
Well, I don't know if he's elaborated on what his options will be should he not get the Democratic nod in the primary. My own thinking that I would think if I was going to announce for a race, it would be a race where I thought I would be well suited. I would base my decision to run on the race that I thought I would contribute the most to, and he seems to have made that decision in the mayoral race, so I wouldn't see why he'd want to revisit the city council race, since he's been very clearly vocally about wanting to be the best candidate for the mayoral race. But anything's possible.
Would you say your legal battle with the city is what fueled your desire to run for office?
No, actually I was very active politically in the 4 years prior to my losing my job. That's what prompted my firing. It took me quite a while to get back on my feet. I thought about running in this race for quite a few years, and as I said, it took me a while to get back on my feet. I was out of work a little bit. I was working in the corporate setting for a while, and oftentimes I didn't get home from work until 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't have time to do much, but take care of my own home. I care for my mom, she's 95, so I didn't have a lot of time. But now I'm doing part-time work that will allow me to enter a race. Now it's a perfect time with Mr. Robertson seeking higher office, so strike while the iron's hot.